Good morning, and welcome to today's webinar. I am Josh Phillips, and on the support team along with Michael Dodds, our presenter today. For today's topics, we asked the users what are the top 3 reports that a user may use on a regular basis. So we worked a couple of the top picks into the webinar to discuss them. For today's agenda, we will be demoing reports, discussing why I would create my own reports, also discuss our final wave of deprecation, and what you can expect to see differently. We will go over the new video selection and, as always, a few user questions. To finish up, we will be mentioning our next oil and gas user group webinar. To ensure the best audio quality for all attendees, we have everyone on listen-only mode. If you have a question, please submit those in the question pane of your GoToWebinar control panel. If time allows, we will answer during today's session. If time does not allow, we will promise to follow up offline. Like all Ledger webinars, today's webinar is being recorded and will be available on demand after the live session. All registered attendees will receive an email later this afternoon with an access link to the recording as well as the presentation slides. Today, we welcome back our presenter, Michael Dodd, Support Consultant with LedgeView Partners.
Thank you, Josh, for that wonderful introduction. Hope everybody is doing well. And thank you again for attending this earlier than usual. With March Madness coming up, we wanted to make sure we got a few people on here, so we decided not to do it on a Friday. So let's get into it. We got some great topics to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about 3 different reports. And these are 3 reports that were either most commonly used by our users or ones that we've received the most questions on. So we're going to start with 530B, which is, it's a 360 view of the parent accounts that don't have an open activity or an open opportunity. This is one of my favorite reports, and the reason for this is, as a salesperson or as a sales manager, this is an incredibly powerful tool to show you what you have versus what you don't have. So this allows you to see the different accounts that don't have any open activities or open opportunities, meaning we haven't touched them, we haven't reached out to them. So you want this report to show 0 results, but it gives you that 360 parent look. So if there are any child accounts that don't have an open activity or an open opportunity, their parent account will be reflected. And it's a great management tool because you can look at all users and see all the different accounts in your CRM and see which owners are reaching out versus which ones aren't. So it's a great management tool. And for an individual level, it's a great organization tool to understand who you haven't reached out to recently. Thus, it doubles as an excellent priority list. So let's jump into CRM, and I'll show you exactly how easy this is to pull. So from our main drop-down menu, these 3 lines, you want to go to Workplace and then Reports. And it's going to automatically pop up with your Energy Solutions reports. You want to scroll down to Report 530B, Accounts 360 View without an open activity or opportunity. It's going to pull up a filtering criteria. Now, it's going to automatically start off with status equals active because you're probably not really interested in inactive accounts that you haven't reached out to or have an open opportunity for. Now, if you want to filter these to just your own, so if you're an individual, you just go into the next drop down, go down to Owner, and set this to equal current user. And you can add any different type of filter. If you want to only show for a specific industry, for any specific field in there, you can filter with an account. So it's a very powerful tool, the filtering section as well. And it's just how it's the same filtering as you use in Advanced Find. Once you have your filtering set, you want to come down here and click Run Report. And what this will do is it'll take a little bit of time because it's crunching all the data. And then it's going to come back with the parent account, and it's going to give you the account number, the relationship type, their phone number, industry, mailing address, who the owner is, so that's a very big portion for a manager, and then also their start date. So when did they first become a customer? And that's very important because if they've been a customer for years and we don't have anything open with them, it might be more explainable than if it's a brand new customer and they're not ordering. or vice versa, depending on how you as a marketer are set up to interact with your customers. And their last order date, which is very important, because if their last order date is years ago, their start date is years ago, and we don't have an open activity or open opportunity with them, it's one that we're really going to want to get in contact with. So it's a very, very powerful tool, and it gives you all the information you need right here to go ahead and reach out to them and start that dialogue. So it's a very powerful tool. Now, in terms of the report, it's going to show you the filtering, so how you filtered. So the only thing we filtered was status equals active. So that's the only filtering that's going to show, and it's going to give you a count of all the accounts that have pulled back, so 228. Again, we're not doing very well here at LedView Partners in terms of reaching out to our customers in our demo environment. So we would want to whittle this list down. So you really want to have less on this list than more, because if you've reached out to them, they won't appear on this list. In terms of navigation of a report, to simply go to the next page, you're just going to click the next page button, this arrow. Now, if you want to go to the last page, you just click on the arrow with the line next to it. That'll immediately pull you to the last page. And then it will show you how many total pages you have, so 6 pages. If you want to export this information out to Excel or Word, simply click the drop-down arrow next to what looks like a Save button. It's really the export feature. And then if you want to print, you just click the Print button. So let's jump back into our PowerPoint presentation. The next report that I want to go over is Report 100, which is an account ranking. So there's 2 different reports for account ranking. There's an individual account basis look, and then there's also the parent account look. Because we looked at parents in the last report, we're going to look at them as an individual for the account ranking. Now, why this report is so important is it allows you to view your accounts in order by either their gross profit, their volume, or their revenue that they're generating for you. So it gives you a ranking. And one of the features that I love the most, you can see the percentage of the total gross profit, revenue, or volume, depending on which one you're selecting, that each account earns. So if you have an account that's, accounting for 25% of your total gross profit, that's your biggest account. That's one you're going to want to focus a lot of time on. So it helps you understand your customers, how much they're buying, how much of your book they're representing, and it helps you prioritize. Also, you can view the accounts for your entire sales team. So as a sales manager, you can go in and view the entire sales team and see all your accounts in order of their earnings for gross profit, revenue, or volume. Now, no matter which way you select, whether you choose to represent it by gross profit, revenue, or volume, you're always at the top of the report going to see the total gross profit, revenue, and volume for the selection you made. So let's jump back into CRM. We'll show you how to run Report 100. So back at our report section, we're just going to scroll up to the very first report, Report 100. And it's going to give you 2 different ways to filter. You can filter by account, and you can filter by order history. So why this is important is because for account, you can show, well, I only want to pull for a specific industry. And then for order history, well, I only want to show a specific product segment. So it allows you to filter both ways. Now, if you only want to show owners, the account owner to equal yourself, you just change this default filter to equals current user. So an individual would want to do that. And the order date, you can look at this fiscal year, you can change it to look at last fiscal year, or you can pick and choose the dates, which really allows you to narrow down the information that you're looking for. And of course, you can filter by any field within order history or a related entity. Same with accounts. Once you have this set the way you'd like, you just click Run Report. So once you click Run Report, it's going to give you one more filtering option, and this is how you want to display it. When I was going over the benefits, I was talking about how you can pull up by gross profit, you can pull up by volume, you can pull up by revenue. this is where you're going to select that information. So we're going to run it by gross profit. We're going to click View Report. And this takes a little bit to churn the data because, again, it's looking at every account because we didn't filter it by just the owner. Then it's going to come back and it's going to rank them. And that's also, it's crunching all this data, ranking it, pulling the information into the correct fields. And as you can see, it doesn't take too long. So that's the power of reports. Again, at the top here, it's going to show you what you're filtering. So for order history, we filtered by order date. And we didn't filter anything by account, so that's why that's not showing. It's going to show the total gross profit for every account. So grand total of over almost $373,800. Total revenue, and then total volume. Then it's going to display this information based on gross profit. So it gives you the account name and number, the industry, the address, and the owner. Again, very important information, basic information, but still very important. And then it's also going to show, just like the last report, your start date and your last order date. Then it's going to go into the really meat and potatoes of this report, the gross profit and the percentage. So gross profit, that's how much they brought in this fiscal year already. And then in running in percent, it's showing you that it brought in almost 12% of your gross profit comes from JWS Inc. So that's a very, very important account because it's pulling in a ton of revenue, a ton of gross profit. The running gross profit and running percentage just gives you a running total. So it's going to add the gross profit of JWS plus the gross profit of A&F, and it's going to give you this number here. Just like percent. It's going to give you the running percent here and give you a total of 21%. So if you want to see, what do my top 2 accounts give me? Well, they give me 21% of my gross profit. And as you can see here, the number increases by very little going forward because we're getting lower and lower of the gross profit percentage that it's bringing to the table. So a really, really great analytical tool. And if you ever want to change this, if you're looking at gross profit, well, I'm really interested in the same criteria, but I want to see it for revenue. Just jump up here, click Revenue, click View Report, wait just a little bit, it'll finish crunching the numbers, and then display to you, and then you can see here in revenue. So very important tool as well for you. As you can see, A&F and JWS switch places. A&F now brings in the most revenue, but the second most gross profit. So that's an analytical tool for you as a user and for management, as they can kind of see, well, our gross profit, our margins are a little bit different on each of these industries, or what they're ordering and the margins on those are different. So as you can see here, between the top 2, they're bringing in 18% of the revenue. And then if you ever want to change your filtering, if you're looking at this, well, now I'm really only interested in a specific product segment. Just click back on Edit Filter, go to Product Segment, choose your product segment. From your drop-down listing, so we're going to choose Additives, click Select and Add, then go back to Run Report, select how you'd like to display, click View Report. So once you're in the report, it's really easy to make adjustments how you need to. So then as you can see here, based on just additives, we shrunk our account listing by a ton. It's only showing us 2. So that's Report 100, and that's why it's a very, very, very powerful tool for users and management because it gives you great analytics. Our last report we're going to look at today is Report 340, which is key because it's the salesperson goal versus actual. So what it does is it gives you a great comparison between your current sales results versus your goal to date. So where you are right now versus where your goal is saying you should be right now. And it's going to give you an exact number and percentage that you're off from that goal for gross profit and volume. And sales managers, you can compare your entire sales team as individuals and as an entire sales team versus their goal to date versus their actuals. So let's jump into CRM, show you how to run report 340. So again, we're in the Energy Solutions report section. Scroll down to report 340. This is not going to have a starting filtering. It's going to be right here. It's going to have set filtering that you're going to choose from. So it's going to give you the start date and end date. So if we wanted to look at, let's say, this fiscal year so far, we're going to go 1/1/17, and we're going to choose an end date of 3/15/17 because that's tomorrow. Now our report type, this is where we're choosing. Do we want to see all accounts? Do we only want to see new share of wallet accounts that fit into that criteria, or only ones that fit the new account criteria? We're going to go with all. And then you can pick and choose departments. So if you only want to look at fuels, or you only want to look at lubricants, you can choose that. Or you can choose select all. And then same thing with product segments. You can then pick and choose your product segments. We're going to go ahead and go with select all. Once you have this set, you're simply going to go and click on View Report. So again, it's going to crunch this data. It's going to look at your goals. It's going to look at your actual information. And then it's going to spit out a table for you that gives you the exact information, the variance, and the variance percentage. So it's a very powerful tool, and that's why sometimes it takes a little bit of time to pull up. So as we can see here, Steve and I are doing an excellent job. We are way over our actual is killing our goal. So we're doing a fantastic job. I mean, Steve's really doing a great job. He's at 778%. I bet every salesperson wishes they were at 778% of their goal. Obviously, this is a test environment, so the information is not realistic. But then you look at Tom Hardwick, and he hasn't hit anything. He hasn't sold anything so far. So it shows his exact variance amount and then his percentage that he's off. So, and it shows this for gross profit and for volume. Obviously, not realistically, I'm at 168% myself and negative 74% on volume. But this gives you that information of how you're doing versus your goal on gross profit and volume. And managers, you can see each individual person. Then at the very bottom, it's going to add up the total for the goal, the total for the actual, give you the variance. So you're 2 million over and you're 265% to your goal. And then the same thing for volume. So again, a very, very powerful tool. And it's going to show you your various selections that you made. So your start date, your end date, your departments, and your product segments. So again, a very powerful tool that can really help you in the middle of a long sales year, knowing how you're doing to your goal. Instead of needing to talk to your manager about this, you can just run this report and see exactly where you're standing. And that's all for our demo of reports today. Now, in previous report webinars that I've done is I've shown you how to run your own report, create your own report. Today I'm doing it a little bit differently. As you saw, I did some demos on some very common or some reports that have questions around them and how to run them and how to filter. And I've covered how to create reports in the past, but I want to talk about why you would want to create your own report. And some various reasons why you might want to create your own report. If there's a specific set of information that you need from CRM, that you want grouped, summed, or in a chart. So you've heard me say before, Advanced Find is your best friend. Reports can be your best friend too, especially if you want them grouped, summed, or in a chart, because it's very easy to do. So if you can run an Advanced Find, but instead of having to export that into an Excel document, group it by certain types of information, and then run your auto sum information, instead of going through all those steps, why not take 10 minutes to set up your own report, especially if it's one that you're going to be viewing consistently, and then take 30 seconds to run the report. It's already grouped for you, it's already in a chart, and it's already summed. So you already have all that information in front of you. You don't have to export to Excel to get that. There's also, if there's information specific to your department or your company that a current report does not reflect, but is more specific to you, so you don't specifically need to have a custom report created, but it's information you can pull out of CRM, creating your own report might be the best route. And lastly, if there's a current report that does not show desired columns, grouping, or charts, now I state this because sometimes there's a chart that shows great information, but maybe you don't need all of it. You only need a specific portion of it. You only need to know, the product segment, the order history. You don't need any of the custom pieces of the report. You just want the raw numbers. In that circumstance, you can run your own report, put your own specific columns that you want. Please keep in mind that a report wizard can only run simple reports. All the reports that LegU Partners build are custom. So there's going to be times that you cannot generate the exact same report by adding columns and charts. In fact, in all cases you won't. But if you want a dumbed down version of it or a more simplistic version, you could definitely create your own report. Now, for a refresher on how to build a report, please view the March 2016 Oil and Gas User Group webinar. This will show you how to do that. I am very excited and very pleased to announce that the final wave of the behind-the-scenes CRM enhancements was made live yesterday. So this was done on Monday. This means that Silverlight and all unsupported code has completely been removed from our oil and gas CRM. Now, what does this mean? You can start using those old browsers that you used to use, like Chrome, Firefox. Because those ones didn't necessarily support Silverlight, you can now go in and use Chrome again without the worry of not being able to utilize Silverlight, because it has the same functionality because we're using different technology to represent that information that was shown by Silverlight. We've also added a message that will appear on the lead qualification process, because we do know that it does take some time. So we put a message in there kind of stating what it's going to do for you, that it's going to create an account, it's going to create a contact, and then it's going to create an opportunity, and then it's going to take a little bit of time. Once it completes, it's going to pop up with your opportunity. Another really cool feature that we added was the account description. It currently starts out blank, or it pulls in the lead description if you qualified a lead. But what if you want to show a default set of information? What if there's something you always want to appear in that account description? Just contact us here at LegU Partners at our CRM support desk, and we'll help you set up a default for you to appear in that account screen. It will still pull in the lead description. The default account description that we set up for you would just appear underneath that in the same section. We also saw an issue in territory management where the colors that used to represent customers, prospects, and leads were not correct. We have corrected that issue. And then for those of you that use advanced finds or make your own views or reports, you may have noticed that there were two account entities that were called account numbers. We've renamed one of those, and this was the Microsoft account number, to ZZZ, do not use account number. That way you know not to use it. When we first started off with oil and gas, there were two. We realized the limitations of the Microsoft account number, so we created our own that is more robust, and that's why we're using this one. The reason I mention this is because if you use any personal views or reports that use the old one, you want to make sure you update it to the new account number. We also increased the length of the account number from 20 characters to 40. Within the quote entity, we noticed that you could go to the quote section from sales and create a brand new quote. Now, however, the opportunity field is a required field, and because of this, if you didn't know the opportunity name, you were struggling to figure out how to put that information in. We've removed the ability to create a new quote from the quote entity section, and you have to do it from the opportunity section. And lastly, for the account order history dashboard and the account 360 order history dashboard, we remove the option to view the share of wallet because we saw that it was limited year-to-date information and we didn't feel that it was an accurate representation. So we removed that set of charts. If for any reason you have any questions, you notice something wrong, or something just doesn't seem right, or you need some questions answered, contact us here at 920-560-6888 or email us at crmsupport@ledgerpartners.com. We are always happy to answer your questions. We are also very excited to announce that we changed the videos in CRM because they were represented by Silverlight, so it now is like a YouTube playlist. So I'm going to go over a few things. I'm going to show you exactly how to run it within CRM, but you can view this at a later time if you just want to view the PowerPoint just for some quick tips. So to select videos, once you go to the video section, you want to click on the 3 drop-down lines here. It will bring up this page. Simply click on the video you want to play, and then to close the list, simply click the X button. Let's jump into CRM. I'll show you how easy that is. So from Workplace, we're going to go to Videos. And as you can see here, it's a much larger screen, much bigger viewing area. Click on the drop-down, select your new playlist, click on the X button. That's all for our topic today. Next, we're going to jump into a few CRM user-submitted questions. Our first question is, how do I remember all of the intricacies and what is available? Great question. The best way to remember all the intricacies of CRM, because trust me, I understand, there's a lot to the CRM. The oil and gas product is very, very robust. And to understand what resources are available to you, I recommend utilizing these resources to understand CRM and also to ask any questions. So the videos that we just went over that are available in every user's CRM, the documents that are available in CRM in that same Workplace drop-down section, these recorded webinars, the user and sales manager training videos that we did back in August, and your friendly oil and gas support team at Ledger Partners. We are always happy to help and answer any question. Our next question is, how do I find opportunities that are not mine to see the status of them? One of the best ways to do that is simply to go to the View Open Opportunities, the Open Opportunities view. So within the Opportunities section, just change from your View selector to Open Opportunities. This will show you every open opportunity regardless of owner, and it shows in there the sales stage, so you can know exactly what sales stage it's in. If you're looking for more personalized information, so you want to change the columns, remove some columns, you can set up your own personal view, again showing open opportunities and don't filter by the owner. That way you can analyze your user's opportunities and you can have the exact fields or columns that are most important to you. Our last question is how to get reminders in CRM for various activities we perform. Great question. One way that I use CRM myself that's very helpful is to set up reminders. So as he's asking, and to do that, reminders to complete items or when different action items are due, is to utilize activities. So if you set up activities with a due date, you can set up a subsequent view or a dashboard to show you all activities that are due today or past due or due today and are past due. That way you're prioritizing your list, you have a reminder of what needs to get done today, and this can really help you stay organized. Another way to do this is you can also utilize the Outlook client to sync the task and appointments to your Outlook. As long as they have a due date, you're going to get that pop-up reminder. So that ding that you get when a new meeting is coming up, it will also do that for tasks.
Thank you, Michael, for the great content, and a big thank you to the users who submitted questions. Please know that Ledger is always here to help users in whatever way we can. Please continue to ask our oil and gas related questions to help make these webinars successful. Our next oil and gas webinar will be May 12, 2017. Our topic for that webinar will be equipment tracking, fuel price notifications, and expense reporting. Thank you. And on behalf of myself, Michael, and all of us at LedgeView, we thank you for taking the time to attend our oil and gas webinar today. We look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. Have a great day.